Hello everyone and welcome to my next Silver Swans class in the virtual village hall. Hope you're all having a lovely day and this beautiful sunshine. So thank you so much if you have come in maybe from the garden to join in this session today. So just a little bit of an introduction just while people are logging in. So Silver Swans is an initiative of the Royal Academy of Dance, and our ballet class is specially designed for the over 55s. But whatever your age, if this class is the correct pace for you, then you're more than welcome to join in. Today's session, as I always do, it's aimed at absolute beginners, so it doesn't matter if you've never done ballet before. I'll be explaining everything right from the start. I like to theme my sessions as well. So today we've got a little bit of a theme of a ballet called Paquita, which I'll talk a little bit more as we go along. And we'll finish off with a little bit of repertoire from Paquita as well. Before we get started, just check that your space is clear of any obstacles. Check that you've got some water. You will need something to use as a ballet bar. A chair is ideal. Just something nice and sturdy that won't wobble over. Kitchen counters, all sorts, things like that. Absolutely perfect. And yeah, we will get started. I think that's everything. Yeah, it is. So we always start off with our 2 warm-ups. If you've joined in before in my sessions, hopefully you're starting to know these warm-ups now. If you haven't joined us before, then they're nice and easy to follow along with. So I don't even need to introduce anything. You can just follow along with these warm-ups. We will get started by walking around our room. If you haven't got enough space to walk around your room, you can just walk on the spot. So let's get started. Let me just adjust my camera. There we go. Here we go. Hopefully the banners will disappear off in a moment. But you don't need to see my feet anyway for the minute because we're just walking around. There we go, they've just gone. So let's get started now. Just walking around. Like I said, if you haven't got enough space to walk around, just walk on the spot. Okay, walking around. Now taking your hands up and bring them down and up and down and up and down and up. Everybody into the middle, feet together, hands in front, and we're just going to bend and stretch and bend and stretch, bend and stretch, bend and stretch, taking both hands behind you and into the middle, both hands behind you and into the middle. Now sway to the side, nice big bend and stretch and bend and stretch, bending and stretching. One more sway, feet together, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, good, right. So that's our first warm-up done. We're going to do our second warm-up now, which is specifically for our feet. And for this, we're going to use our ballet bar. Like I said, this is where the chair comes in very handy. Just something nice and sturdy that won't wobble over. About waist height is perfect. So I'll just discuss a little bit about posture. We're going to face our bar for this warm-up, and this posture is important all the way throughout the class. This is a huge thing about Silver Swans and about ballet classes in general. I do really want to emphasise, I mean, obviously you're joining in the class and you understand this, but ballet really is for everyone. Okay, so many people have associations with ballet, you know, being like the girls in frilly tutus, or being, you know, for professional dancers, but it offers so many benefits for lots of different people. It's good for your posture, coordination, energy levels, balance. It helps with muscle tone. So much it can help with. And so obviously posture is a big one that we talk about a lot. So I'll just start off with one of my favourite pieces of imagery. If you've joined in my sessions before, then you'll know this one. I want you to imagine your head is a helium balloon that's trying to float upwards, but your feet are the weight for that, keeping that helium balloon anchored. So we've got almost like this two-way stretch going on. Your head is trying to lift upwards, and you'll feel straight away this more lifted feeling in your core, making almost like the gap, feels like you're making the gap between your ribs and your hips even bigger. but your feet are remaining very grounded. And that, straight away, you can feel the difference in your posture. Just straight away from using that little bit of imagery. So, we want to make sure we're standing the correct distance away from our bar as well. If we're too close, our elbows are bent. If we're too far away, our elbows are straight. We want them to just have a nice soft curve. So we've set ourselves up correctly now. We'll get started with our warm-up. We're going to go through the different parts of our feet. So I'm with one foot, I'm going to lift my heel. Then I'm going to go to a point, demi-point, and down. Demi-point to a point, demi-point, and down. So I'm calling that demi-point, demi meaning half. So half a pointed foot to a point, demi-point and down, and a demi-point to a point, demi-point and down. Then we're going to point and flex our feet. So I'm pointing my foot in front, and flexing my foot, pointing and closing. Same again, pointing and flexing and pointing and closing. Same again, and flex and point and close. One more, pointing and flexing and pointing and closing. So we're just really using all the different parts of our feet, waking them up. Ballet's really good as well, particularly for your lower leg strength, so your ankles, your feet, and the mobility in them as well. Straight away you can see with this sort of an exercise how it's developing the different parts of your feet and the muscle strength there as well. Let's go with music now. Okay, demi-point, crease your shoe, to a point, demi-point and down, same again, to a point, demi-point and down. Now pointing and flexing, point and flexing, and pointing and closing, pointing and flexing, and pointing, closing in. One more. And closing. Okay, good. So I'm going to stand sideways onto my bar now for my pliés. If you've joined in my sessions before, we've always done pliés facing the bar. Today we're going to do it with one hand on the bar. I'll just quickly go over the positions of the feet as a quick recap. So starting off with your feet together. If you turn your toes away from each other, but keeping your heels in contact, that's first position. It should feel comfortable, this position. We're not forcing our turnout. It's just a nice right angle. So if you were stood on a clock, your toes will be facing towards 10 to 2, 5 to 1, somewhere around there. Nice and comfortable. So that's first position. We're going to go to second position now. So if you just put a space between your feet, just check that your weight is in the middle. We're not leaning on one leg more than the other. And just check that both feet look exactly the same. Be careful you don't have one foot more turned out than the other. So your weight is in the center, both feet turned out exactly the same. And that's second position. So back to first position. And then if you point your foot to the side, we can go to second position. Now, if we go back to our first position again, from here, I'm going to slide one foot slightly across in front of the other. So now the heel of my front foot is in contact with the middle of my back foot. And that's third position. And actually we can have third position with either foot in front. So we can have it with this foot in front as well. Okay, so we've got first position, second position, and third position. And there you go. You just learned 3 of the 5 positions of ballet. So feet in first position. We're going to take our plie now in all these different positions. Plie meaning to bend. So with your feet in first, we can bend our knees and stretch your knees. Bend your knees and stretch your knees. And every time we're bending, we're thinking of keeping our back nice and straight and your heels are staying on the floor. That's a really tricky thing, to make sure you're keeping your heels on the floor. So it doesn't matter, even if it's only a small bend or if it's a big bend, providing your heels are staying on the floor, that's correct. Okay, so feet in first. So you want to hold your ballet bar in front of you. So my advice is, if you're using a chair, put your hand onto your bar, onto your chair, and then take a little step backwards. And that really helps with your balance, having your hand in front. And you're just going to put your other hand onto your hip. We're going to take 2 demi-pliés. 1, and stretch, demi-plié 2, and stretch, we're going to point our foot, which is furthest away from our ballet bar. So that's hopefully your right foot if you're following along as a mirror image. Pointing your foot to the side. And then we'll go to our second position. Take a moment, check your feet are matching, check they're turned out the same. Same in second, bending and stretching and bending and stretching. Pointing that same foot, and we're going to close it in front in third. Same in third, bending and stretching, still keeping your back nice and straight. Thinking about that helium balloon, and then we'll close back into first position. This hand that's been on our waist is now going to do what we call a port de bras. We're going to make a nice round shape with our arm. We're going to lower it down, take it all the way up, circle it around and down. And then to finish off, I'm going to take it all the way back up again, up to a position that we call open fifth. It's basically like a V shape with your arms, but we're just doing it with one hand today. If you've done my sessions before, you'll know that arm shape, okay? So just to finish off, it's a nice round shape with this arm as we take that big circular action, and then we float it all the way up to finish off. So that's going to be our pliés for today. Nice and steady, lots of time to think about checking that you're in the correct position, and then we have that beautiful, what we call port de bras at the end. And I'll talk a little bit more about port de bras as the class goes on. Okay, feet in first. Let's take our pliés. And demi-plié 1. And stretch. Second demi-plié. And stretch. Now let's point your foot to the side, lowering down in second position. Take a moment. Are your feet matching? Same in second. Plié. And stretch. Plié. And stretch. Pointing your foot. And closing it into third position. Okay, keep lifting up nice and tall. Same in third. And stretching. Plié. And stretch. Let's close back into first position. And we're going to use our arm all the way up, circling it around. And then we're floating it all the way up. And we'll hold. And we'll finish off there. Okay, good. So, we've used one arm, but we've only used one leg, so we now need to use the other leg. So if you swap your chair over, or if you're using a fixed unit like a kitchen unit, then you can always move your laptop now to the other side, because then you can keep following along. Let's go on the other side now, feet in first position. And demi-plié 1. So keeping nice straight back all the time, heels in contact with the floor. And pointing your foot to the side and lowering down in second position. Same in second. And plié 1. And stretch. Plié. And stretch, pointing your foot and closing it in front into third position. Same in third. Keep lifting up nice and tall and plié 1. And stretch. Plié 2. And stretch. Let's close back into first. And it's time for your port de bras, so you're using your hand. Opening out. And then taking it all the way up to that open fifth position. And finishing off. Okay, good. Swap your bars back over to where you were before. And we're now going to take a battement tendu. So battement tendu, really easy, just pointing and closing. Again, we're going to use our leg furthest away from the bar. And we can point our leg in 3 different directions in ballet. To the front, to the side, and to the back. Again, another exercise which is really good for strengthening your feet and developing mobility in them. And for balance as well. So, we're going to use our outside leg, your leg furthest away from the bar. We're going to point it to the front 3 times. 1, and close, and 2, and close, 3, and close, a little demi-plié, and stretch. We're going to take 3 to the side now, to the side, and close. Point, and close. Point, and close. Bend your knees and stretch them. We'll go to the back and close. Keeping your legs nice and straight, so it's your feet that are sliding along the floor. Demi-plie and stretch. And then to finish off, we're going to take a little rise up onto our demi-points. And if you want to, you can just hover that hand just off the bar. Just see if you can find your balance. Okay, if you don't want to, then that's fine. Absolutely fine. Keep hold of the bar. So, to find that balance, what we want to make sure we're doing is we're leaning forward just slightly from our waist. If you're leaning backwards, then nobody can find the balance there. You've got to think of, the physics behind it all. So you need to think about your spine being nice and vertical and straight. And if anything, your weight needs to be forward. We always say that our weight is over the balls of our feet. And that is whereabouts you'll find your balance. Even if you want to just do a small lift, just a little lift of your heel, that's absolutely fine. It's a very strengthening position. We call that our quarter point. We do use it in ballet. So it's up to you how much you want to take that. That's of course the case with all this session. Only do what you know it's safe for you to do, and please feel free to modify anything. Let's have a go now for our battement tendus. And 1, and a close, 2, and a close, 3rd one, little bend, and stretch. Let's go to the side, nice straight legs, 2nd one, 3rd one, bending and stretching. Now we're going to go to the back, derriere. This is the trickiest one, going to the back, to the back, to the back, demi-plie, and stretch. Now you can have that little rise, and hold your hand just off the bar if you want to, and we'll lower down to finish off. Okay, good. Let's swap over our bar to the other side, and we'll repeat that exercise now with the other leg. So like I said, we want to keep our legs nice and straight all the time. It's your feet. Think of your feet as though they're almost like ironing the floor. You're feeling every little bump in the floor, and then you're sliding it back in again. Your body stays still. It's just your leg that slides out and slides back in. Let's have a go on the second side now. And to the front. And close. So it's going straight in front of your hip and your shoulder. Little bend, heels stay on the floor, nice straight backs. To the side. So we call this a battement tendu à la seconde if we're going to the side. And now we're going to go to the back, which we call a battement tendu derrière. It's going straight behind your hip and shoulder again. And demi-plie. And stretch. You ready to rise up? And you can have a little test of your balance. And lowering down. Good. Okay. We're now going to do an exercise called a rond de jambe. Rounding of your leg. Rond de jambe à terre, on the ground. Basically, as we've just done those 3 different directions for our battement tendus in our devant, à la seconde and derrière, front, side, back, we're going to connect them all together. So, feet in first position. If you point your foot straight to the front, and from here, instead of closing in, we're going to circle it round to the side. So it's now connected to where we did our battement tendu in second. And then we're going to circle it all the way round to the back and then close it into first position. So we've almost made like a capital letter D shape on the floor. So I'll just repeat that again. So I'm going to the front, round to the side, round to the back and into first. Have a go with your other leg. Going to the front, to the side, to the back and into first, to the front, to the side, to the back and into first position. So we call them rond de jambe à terre en dehors to give them the full title. En dehors means going outwards. We can also do them inwards, but we're not going to do those today. So we're going to take 2 rond de jambes to begin. Doesn't matter whichever leg you want to start off with. To the front, to the side, to the back, into first position. Same again, to the front, to the side, to the back, into first. From here, we're going to release our hand down to a position. I'll introduce one of the first positions here for you. We call this bra bar. Okay, it's a nice oval shape with your arms. That's what we had earlier on, but I just didn't put a name to it. So it's that nice rounded shape. Our arm is going to reverse through that circle pattern, and it's going to go up to 5th position. So 5th position, we can take it with 2 hands, or we can take it with 1 hand. We're going to do it with 1 hand. From here, we're going to turn our head away from that arm. It's like you've just fallen out with it. We're going to lift up nice and tall, trying to make the gap between your ribs and your hips even bigger. And then we're going to go into a little sideways bend, recovering back up again, opening the arm back out, and then placing it onto your bar. So from here, what we're doing is we're lifting up, and then it's a bend from the waist, not from the hips swinging out. It's a bend from the waist. Your head is turned to the side. There's a reason behind that, in that it means that the strongest muscles in your neck are supporting the movement to have your head turned sideways. So you've got to trust yourself for a moment to look away from the screen. I know for my own Silver Swans, when I teach Silver Swans on Zoom, it's always a case of got to trust yourself to look away from the screen at that moment. So we reverse our hand up to 5th, turn your head away from your arm. We take that little bend over sideways, recovering back up again, circle your arm, put it back onto the bar, and then we repeat the rond de jambe and the sideways port de bras with the other leg and going to the other side for the port de bras. Let's have a go with music now. Feet in first position, ready for our rond de jambe after. Okay, so still thinking about that posture, shoulders down, long necks. And going to the front, to the side, to the back, into first position. Same again, to the front, to the side, to the back, into first position. Let's release your arm to bra bar. Up to 5th, turn your head sideways. Over you go. And opening your hand back out. Let's go with the other hand to the front. 1. Other leg to the side, to the back, into first position. Same again, front. So keeping your big toe in contact with the floor all the time. And arm goes to 5th, turn your head away from your bar. Over you go, bending from your waist. Coming back up again, opening out. And finishing up. Okay, let's finish off with a grand battement now. So grand battement literally translates as big beats. So if obviously you've done your battement tendus, it's very closely related to that. If you've done my sessions before, then you'll know this exercise. Feet in first position. Check you've got yourself set up correctly. A little bit further back than your hand on the bar. Feet in first position. Hand on your waist. We're going to point our foot in front, like we did for the battement tendu, but we're going to lift our leg, point it and closing. I'll just turn to face the side to show you that. So I'm pointing my foot in front, a little lift, pointing and closing. It's not about the height of your leg. It's about keeping it nice and straight and strong. And what this exercise does is it really develops the strength in your legs, but also the flexibility with what we're going to help with, what we're going to advance it on with in a moment. So we've done the point, lift, point and close. We're going to connect together those first 2 movements, and it's going to turn into a swish, point, close. So it's going swish, point, close. So you can see the endings still stay the same, but just the opening has changed. So we're going swish, point, close. It's still fully extending before it lifts into the air. So that now is a true grand battement devant, going to the front. And we're going to have a go with both legs. So feet in first. We're going to go swish and a point and a close and a wait. Swish and a point and a close and a wait. Third grand battement, point and close and wait. We'll take a demi-plie and stretch. Same with the other leg. Swish and point and close and wait and a swish and a point and a close. One last one and swish and point and close, demi-plie and stretch. Okay, so we don't need to do this exercise on the other side. We'll just do it on the one side using both legs because I want to get into the center to do a port de bras with you today and also a little bit of repertoire from the ballet of Paquita. I've got lots of music in today's class from Paquita. Pretty much all that bar work was music from that ballet. Okay, so feet in first position. Let's do our grand battements. Demi-plie. Let's now go with the other leg. And swish and a point and close. Second one. Third grand battement. And demi-plie. And stretch. Okay, good. Put your ballet bars away, have a quick drink of water, and then we'll come into the centre. I'll just remove my chair out of the way. Right, I'll just have... Okay. Thank you so much, everybody who's joining us. Please feel free to add in the comments whereabouts you're joining in from today. I can see a few of you have already written in. Hello, everybody. Right. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to do a little bit of repertoire from the ballet of Paquita today, but I'm just going to introduce a few different arm movements in a port de bras that we're going to use. And also, actually, there's a little bit as well with our legs that I'm going to introduce in the port de bras that we're going to use in our repertoire. So, feet in first position. I'll just go through a few of the arm positions. We have hands in bras bar. And then we're going to lift our arms up so that they're opposite our waist. And that's first position. First position, it's a nice round shape. Again, we're still keeping that rounded shape with our arms, but our hands are as wide apart as our face. It's the same as it was in bras bar. The position is literally just lifted upwards to your waist. We've already learnt fifth position, which now you know is the exact same shape as what we did in bras bar first, and it just continues up to fifth position. There was another position that we kept passing through in that bar work, but I didn't actually tell you what the name of it was. Now I'm going to tell you the name of it. And it's second position. Second position is just slightly curved in front of you. If you take your arms straight out to the sides and then just slightly curve them forwards, so the palm of your hand is facing forwards, and that's our second position. So we've got bras bar, first position. If we open them out sideways, we've got second position. And basically those are the positions that we're going to track our arm through. So hands in bras bar. I'm going to take my right hand to first, up to fifth, opening to second position, and down to bras bar. The other hand, arm first, to fifth, to second, down to bras bar. Okay, let's just play the piece of music because then you can hear the speed of it. So it's quite a steady piece. 1, 2. Okay. So at this moment, after we've taken one hand and then the other hand, we're then going to do what we call a full port de bras, which is where we go with both arms first to fifth, open to second, and down to demi-second this time, so it's just changed. So demi-second is almost as though you've got a 2-2-1, Your hands are resting on the edge of your tutu. We've got any gentlemen joining in today. You can take your arms out to demi-bras instead. And that's almost as though you're holding a tray in front of you. So it's more of a gesture outwards. So demi-second, like I said, it's more... female dancers tend to use it more, for hands resting on the edge of tutu skirts. But it's also quite good for helping with your balance. So if you do feel as though you want to use that position, by all means, please feel free to. So we've gone right hand, left hand, both hands. We're going to travel a little bit now in the step that we call a step, close, step, and point. And it's exactly what it says. It sounds like it is. It's a step, a close, a step, and a point. And this step is going to appear in our repertoire. So using your right foot, I'm going to step to the side. I'm going to close my feet into first position. I'm going to take another step to the side. And then this foot that's pointed, I'm going to point it in front. So step, close, step, point. I'll do that again. So I'm going step, close, step, point. Okay. Arms down in demi-second. So step, close, step, point. From here, you might want to finish on a little bit of a bend. That's fine. Just straighten up at that moment. We're going to lift one hand up and we're going to bring it down in front of us. And then the other hand is going to lift and we're going to bring it down in front and we're going to finish off with our wrists crossed. And that's the ending position because we need that wrist cross position for our repertoire shortly. It's almost like a position what you get a lot in Swan Lake, that with wrists crossed. It literally is just, again, if you had your tutu on, your hands will be resting on the edge of your tutu skirt. Got a gentleman joining, you can just open your hands out again to demi-bras if you would rather take that arm position. Okay, so feet in first position. We've got right hand lifting up, opening out and slowly down. Left hand on first. 2 fifth, opening out and down. First, 2 fifth, opening out. Step, close, step, point, and then you can bring both hands over to finish off. Let's just have a quick practice through with the music. Okay, one hand, 1. Opening out and down, other hand. Both hands. And we'll go step, close, step, point, and your hands to finish off. Okay, let's have a go properly now with music. Feet in first position. And one hand, opening out, other hand first, 2 fifth, opening out. Now both hands, and step, close, step, point, and both hands. Okay, good. We're going to go into our repertoire now. Feel free to have another quick drink if you want to. Let's just listen to the piece of music. If we can have the music, please, for the little bit of repertoire we're going to learn today. It's got lots of character to it, this solo. Okay. So we've got, like I say, it's got lots of character. Thank you. It's got lots of character to it. The middle section is a little bit more lyrical. It's a really pretty solo. So the Ballet of Paquita, it's one that isn't really performed very often anymore. It's kind of one of the lost ballets, but it's been basically stripped for parts, essentially. A lot of the music is used in other ballets. Sometimes some of the solos appear in other ballets. For example, Cupid's Variation, which everybody thinks comes from La Bayadere, actually, from Don Quixote, actually originally came from Paquita. Slightly different arms and things like that, but you can see it essentially was the same tune and solo. So it's a real shame that the ballet has pretty much been lost, very, very rarely performed. But you do get a lot of student dancers performing the solos still at competition, so it's really nice that obviously it is still being kept alive through the competition scene almost. And obviously you get the like gala performances where you'll get bits of Paquita still performed. This is quite a famous solo from the ballet. Very nice, beautiful music. Let's get started learning it. So I'll just quickly go over stage directions because it does travel around a little bit. Obviously, don't be concerned, if you get lost and you think, am I meant to be going to the right or to the left? Just fit this solo in however you want to fit it in your space, and don't get hung up on, am I using the right or the left? Just enjoy dancing it. And if you want to, you can always revisit this video afterwards and access it at any time. So, if I wave my right hand, that's it. So you're waving your right hand now, hopefully. And then if you wave your left hand. So like I said, I'm teaching as a mirror image. So if you listen to the direction that I'm giving, so right or left, and then just copy it as a mirror image. So if you move to the right, so we'll move to the right. And then now if you move over to the left, there we go. So we're actually going to start off in the left in our upstage corner. So we're going to move away from whereabouts your audience would be. Imagine that your audience is where your laptop is. So we're moving away from our audience here. So we're now in our upstage left corner. It's exactly the same stage direction as what an actor would use. It's exactly the same for dancers. It's as the dancer or the actor is stood on the stage. Those are what the stage directions are. Okay, so feet in first position. We can have our hands in demi-second or in demi-bras. It's up to you. And we'll wait for the introduction. There's some chords. And then we're going to walk on and stop with our feet in first. So we're now center stage. We're right in the middle of the room. We've made our entrance on and we're here. Okay, so our arms, they're going to lift and we're going to cross our wrists in front of us, just like we did in the port de bras. And then we're going to push them outwards to a diagonal line. Now, ideally, it's going to be your hand nearest towards the laptop or your iPad that lifts. So which will hopefully be your left hand. And then we repeat again, pointing and lifting them up. Okay, now you can add in a pointed foot with this. So pointing your left foot, you can leave it pointed out in front if you want to. Wrists and out. Or to make it a little bit fancier, now this is a bit tricky for coordination, you have been warned. We go point and close, and point and close. From here, we're going to go round to your right in, I think it's 7 walks it will work out as. In ballet, we always walk with our big toe leading. So normally, if you're walking to the shops or something, it's your heel that leads the way. But in ballet, it's our big toe that leads the way. So we're just walking with our big toe. And we're staying on the beat of the music. We're going to go round in a little loop to finish back in the middle again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And count 7 our feet to come back into first position. And hopefully we're now facing the other direction. And we repeat it again. Wrists crossed, hands lift, wrists crossed, hands lift. So now it's the opposite hand. It's the other hand that's lifting. So it's now your right hand that's going up, pointing and closing. If you want to add those feet in, make it as simple or as difficult as you want to. But like I said, don't worry too much about which arm you should be lifting. Just enjoy dancing along with it. That's what this session is all about. So let's have a go. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add on that when you've done that, you walk around again. So it's a complete repeat again, but this time we finish facing the front, feet in first position. Let's have a go with music up to that. So feet in first position. Okay, and remember the first thing we do is we come into the center stage and then we have these arms, the little loop round, the arms, and then the little loop round. So feet in first, let's begin. Okay, making your entrance on into the center, and wrists crossed, and open, wrists crossed, and open. You ready to walk around, walking 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, second side, wrist cross, and open, wrist cross, and open, walking round to the left. Feet in first position. Okay, from here, we're going to do a really slow lift of our arms and we're going to cross our wrists in front. From here, we're going to take a step, close, step and point, exactly the same as what we did in the port de bras. Step, close, step, point. If you want to, as we take that step, close, step and point, you can take your arms up to a diagonal line. So wrists, cross in front, and step, close, step, point. Same again, wrists, cross in front, we'll go the other way, step, close, step, point. Okay, those arms are optional there if you want to add those in. So we've done our arms, looped round, arms, looped round, and then we come into this middle section, lifting, da 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 da. Like I say, it's quite a lyrical middle section. And point, wrist cross, and step, close, step, and point. Okay, let's add that on from the beginning now. Quite close to the end there, actually. And making your entrance on, and wrist cross, diagonal, wrist cross, diagonal, walking around, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and wrist cross. Walking round, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, feet in first. Now this is slow. Step, close, step and point. And slow. Let's go the other way. Okay. Ending section now. We're going to go into some what we call spring points. I'll turn to face the side to show you this. So I'm pointing one foot in front and then I'm swapping to the other foot pointing in front and then I'm swapping back again. And swap. Now there's a few little hints on this because you can be quite wobbly for your balance if your weight is in the wrong place. You need to have your weight forwards from your core, okay? Weight forwards. Because you find that if you're leaning backwards, you really will, well, as you can see that I'm already starting to travel backwards. So your weight is forward and the leg that you're landing on can have a little bit of a bend on it because what that does is it just cushions and it just absorbs it just a little bit. And point, and point, and point. Okay, so we're just swapping and swapping. And we're going to do, I think it's 6 spring points. Yes, it is 6 spring points. Point in front. So we're here and we go 1, da 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 2, da 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 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. You can come forward or you can go to the corner if you're running out of space already. I'm going to go to the corner because otherwise I'll disappear off camera. We go to the corner. Finish with your feet in third position. And our arms are going to go out to demi-bras in a big ending for the finishing chord. Okay, could we pick it up with music where we just finished from? Yeah, spring point section, please. Okay, so we've got the step, close, step and point. We've just finished here. And that's where we're going to try and pick the music up from. Here we go. And spring point 1, spring point 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go to the ending, wherever you need to go to, and finish. Okay, good. Right, let's piece it all together now from the very beginning. We come on, we have our little wrist cross. We walk around however many walks you need to do. I know I said 6, but I know I said 7 walks, but depending on your space, I think I end up doing 6 sometimes actually to fit it in a bit better in my space. Same on the other side. Then we're going to the step, close, step and point section, which is the middle bit, the lyrical section. And then we finish off with those nice bright spring points into our ending. Hands open out. Okay, let's have a go from the very beginning. And making your entrance on. And wrist crossed. Diagonal, wrist cross. Diagonal walking round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And wrist cross. Walking round a little circle, however many steps you need to take to bring you into the middle. Feet in first. Now it's our step, close, step and point section. Slow. And step, close, step, point, slow. And step, close, step, point, spring, point. And a weight forward, keeping that weight forward all the time. Let's go to our ending. Well done, everybody. Like I said, if you want to have another go at that solo, if you want to go back over any little sections, you can always access this video back afterwards. And there should be also some other videos as well available from my other sessions in the Virtual Village Hall. Since the very start of the Virtual Village Hall, I've been teaching in here about once a month. I teach in here. Okay, so feet in first position. Let's finish off with our cool down. I'm going to include a little bit of a reverence, which is our curtsy or bow in there. You can either take a little curtsy or you can take a bow, but I'll cue you when to come in with that. Feet together, we'll take our cool down. We're just focusing on our breathing. Okay. And breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out, feet in first position. Curtsies or bows. Curtsies or bows. Okay, let's walk around the room. Keep thinking about your breathing. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Well done, everybody. Good. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. Enjoy a lovely afternoon in the sunshine. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.